Okay, this little bit of kit has completely changed the way the KTM feels to ride, and in this short video I'm going to get into the pros, the cons, why I went with the Adventure Spec Mini fairing over, say, a proper navigation tower, and whether you should consider getting one of these for your dual sport. Okay, why even bother getting something on the front end? Because you could argue that it's a trail bike. If you're on trails, this is more stuff to break. This is just more weight on the front end. It's more stuff to smack your head on. All very good arguments. Well, me and my friend Mac, we're doing the Spanish and French TET later this year. Hopefully the wildfires have died down by then. And this just gives me a small fraction, bit of comfort, gets rid of some of the elements, the wind, the overgrowth when you're riding through it. It raises up the navigation so you're not always having to look up and down. We'll get into all of that in a second. And it just gives me that little bit more comfort and more space, more real estate to add more bits to, more navigation, more cables, gets things out of the way because I don't have much space on my bars. They're pretty chock-a-block. So yeah, let's compare this to a navigation tower, reasons for each. So a navigation tower comes with many more things. You get very powerful headlights, you get kind of plug and play electronics, you get more room to attach your dash. You just generally have a more bulky thing on the front end, a bigger fairing, more coverage. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty gnarly things. They're good, they're amazing. Don't get me wrong, they look fantastic on these bikes, but they cost a lot of money. Those things cost upwards of £700, if not a few thousand for a really decent one. They also weigh about 4 to 5 kilos. And I just don't have that money right now. And I also don't want to put one on my bike, which I drop a lot because I might break it. So let's be real, you don't have to do too much to these things to get them ready. The less I can spend, the more fun I can have when I'm out there, the less stress I'm going to have if things go wrong. That's my thinking, right? The mini fairing, the brackets cost me £95. Those come separately to the screen. The screen costs £45. So in total from Adventure Spec, that comes with everything you need to attach it to the bike. That's around £150, if not below that with postage. Great price. I don't mind if it breaks. It's very robust, it's very sturdy, and it does everything that I need it to do. I don't need extra lights right now. I don't need more electronics. It's fantastic. Now, I was a bit concerned when I bought this because this is the universal fit, so it clamps straight onto the bars. You've got a clamp here and a clamp here, that's it, 2 clamps onto the bars. I'm not going to do an installation video because this is so straightforward. If you need one, then it's very, very simple. So I'm not going to do one, but it clips to the bars, and I just thought there's no way that's going to hold. No way. If you buy the one specific for your bike, which mine doesn't have one right now, I'm pretty sure it goes to the triple clamps, which obviously would be a much more robust place to put it. However, this thing is solid, right? That's me really shaking it around. It does move a little bit sometimes, like that, but it's solid. We took it to Monmouth last weekend. I was hitting rocks the size of children. I mean, they're like this big. Threw this bike down 7 or 8 times, never broke. Nothing went wrong. It stayed solid. I've ridden it over dirt tracks, fast pace, over rutty stuff as well. Absolutely solid. I cannot fault this thing for how stable it is. So that is a massive pro and not something you should worry about if you have the same thought. I've already mentioned a few of the pros of this thing. So yeah, it raises your navigation up. It means you haven't got to bring your head down to the bars and look back up. That's quite a big movement, especially when you're stood on the trails, stood up on the bike, looking all the way down, looking all the way up. You can miss a lot in a split second. So having it here is just that movement, and it also takes the pressure. And this again sounds ridiculous, but 10 hours on the trails or whatever, just your helmet gets heavy. You don't want to be looking up and down all the time. You're already doing enough of that on the trails, so having it higher up is great. And then another thing is obviously having the screen on the front. Ideally that would protect you from the elements, the wind, the rain, the obstacles that pop up, rocks and trees. It doesn't do a very good job of stopping the wind. I can't deny that. I am sat about here on it. I don't know if my head's in frame. Yep, we're good. So yeah, it does definitely deflect a bit, but I still get buffeting. If you tuck down, it'll completely go away. So you can tuck down on longer rides, no problem. But it's a motorbike. I've said this before in a Royal Enfield review. If you don't want to get buffeted, don't ride a motorbike, get a car. The main thing this is good for, the screen, is obstacle deflection. I was riding through Monmouth the other day, overgrown lane, tree branches everywhere. Normally I'm being battered like trying to see where I'm going because it's hitting my goggles and stuff. With this, you can just tuck behind it, you can see through the top, it deflects all the branches, no problem. So that's another pro to this thing. So yeah, I mean, look, it's not, the only thing it's not very good at is generally wind deflection if you're sat on it, but I'm a 6'1" guy, I'm quite tall, the bike's tall itself, you know, it's not great for wind deflection, I wouldn't buy it for that. But if you want somewhere to really kind of open up some storage space to put navigation systems, phones, etc., it's fantastic for that. Right, it's fantastic for that. I have my old iPhone attached here, maps downloaded, connected up to my hotspot on my new phone. That's perfect. Also controls my drone through that as well. I've got a charging point from Oxford that was about 15-20 quid as well. And then I've got another space here for Garmin should I have the money to buy one before we go. So it just opens up that space. You can also tuck your cables away. You could potentially move the dashboard of a KTM, it's tiny, up onto here as well. So you could generally put everything up on here. I will say I have banged my helmet on here several times. It's sharp, it's hard. But once you get used to it, it's okay. But generally I am over the bike. I'm over the front end of this. So if you hit some big bumps, you've got to be aware that it is there, right? If you are doing bigger trips, I think this gives you a lot of comfort. And I just think it's ideal for £150. And then the modifications you want to put on it, like, you can't really go wrong. And that is to say, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. I hope I've covered everything. Any questions you've got, put them in the comments. I'll get back to you. But we do leave for Spain in just over a month. I've got luggage to talk through. I've got all new luggage for this thing. I've got other modifications. I'm doing some maintenance to the bike as well. So if you want to see all of that, and obviously the big Spain trip when we get out there, and France, which I'll be filming documentary style across all of that, do subscribe and tune in. I'll see you hopefully next week, and we'll talk through the luggage that I've now fallen on for this bike. Very exciting times ahead. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.